The issue that I decided to do my research on was homelessness. So when I first started this research, my mind was very narrow about the issue. I believed that only homelessness was caused due to a person not having a job. But in actuality, a person can have a job and still being homeless due to they're not making enough money from the job and not being able to pay those bills and not having enough financially to be able to pay those bills. Also, with homelessness, there are many other factors that it can affect it, such as during my research, I looked up divorces, family issues, mental illnesses, or drug issues. So these are many different type of things that can cause homelessness. So the local area that I would be doing my research on, or the local area that I would be discussing, is North Carolina, because that's where I'm from. So in North Carolina, about 8.8 out of every 10,000 person is affected by homelessness, which is actually the 16th lowest state for homelessness, which is actually pretty good. But just because it's not as many homeless people here does not mean homelessness is not an issue and does not need to be solved. So during this research, I wanted to find the most places or where homelessness is highest at here. So after doing research and looking this up, I found that Durham, Guilford, and also Mecklenburg, North Carolina, were mostly the places where people were homeless. This can be caused by many different factors due to the price of living being higher. And if the price of living being higher, it can mostly result in more people being homeless because they aren't able to financially support themselves. All right. So this leads into some ways, how can homelessness be treated? Or how are we working on ways to do it? So just a few examples. Most of the times you hear about shelters, clothing assistance, food assistance. These are just some ways how people are aiding homelessness. But I wanted to look at some ways on how to end homelessness, or how to slow it down. So some ways that you can do this is that I wouldn't thought about was through therapy sessions. With therapy sessions, someone who is mentally ill, which was another issue that led to homelessness, they aren't able to make the correct financially decisions, because with those decisions you have to be in a good mindset. So in order to end homelessness, the reason I said that is because in order to end it, you have to help them mentally. If they aren't stable mentally, they won't be able to spend the money in the right places. Yes, you can just give someone some money who's homeless and just say, oh, to give money to solve the issue. But in actuality, that will not solve the issue, because if they're not mentally stable, you're not actually fixing the issue. They would just spend the money on every other thing because they don't know what to spend it on. So getting them mentally stable first, and then aiding them, getting them a job, are some ways to end homelessness, because in order for them to make better financially decisions, they have to be mentally stable. Also, after doing this research, I wanted to see some ways on how this class would help me with this topic. So one of the main things I learned from this class was interdisciplinary studies. So interdisciplinary studies are how to attack something from multiple different standpoints. So when you think about attacking homelessness, most people just say just one standpoint: get them money, get them off the streets. But you have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to understand and get to know them as a homeless person, and get to know them so you can understand how they feel, what caused them to do this, how would you feel if you were in this situation, and what would you do to overcome this situation. So interdisciplinary studies helped me greatly with this research, because it helped me understand not just knowing somebody or fixing the issue psychologically, but also through sociology. You know what I'm saying? So these different type of ways, understand somebody socially, understand their mentality, can affect the ways on how you attack the situation. And from different standpoints, you can all combine them together to become a better result. It's always better to have more than one method than solving something. So these are just a few ways on how I wanted to end homelessness. Some ways to stop homelessness in this area. And also, lastly, I will be talking about inequality. So in many areas, you already know that many people are affected by homelessness, and many minorities are affected by homelessness. For example, African Americans make it about 17% of the population, but more than 40% of homeless population homeless people are African American. This shows you how inequality can affect this. Inequality in jobs or anywhere in the work field, which cause them to get a lower rate of pay, can affect this due to them not be able to make the same just because of their color of their skin, which causes them to become homeless. Or inequality when looking for a house. They might not be able to get the house they want due to the color of their skin. Or some issues right there, which would lead to homelessness. So these are just a few ways to end homelessness, and also what leads to homelessness, and also what are people doing to end this issue. Thank you.